This podcast is brought to you by Living Swell Studios. When you want to record your next hit, broadcast your next live stream, or just need a quiet space to edit your videos, Living Swell Studios can accommodate all your needs. Located in New Orleans, they're equipped with a rehearsal hall, print shop, photography space, and more. Living Swell is your one-stop shop to facilitating your vision. Let them fulfill your music and video dreams. All right, this is Drew's Putting Out There, episode 16. Yeah. I told you I got a slate because that saves me a myriad of time.
I understand. Nothing like the claps.
Yes, sir.
Nothing like the claps.
Let's do this one more time.
Yeah.
This is Drew's Putting Out There, episode 16. Hey, what's happening, y'all? This is daphessah Drew Bayham coming at you with another episode of Drew's Putting It Out There. And this is going to be a very interesting conversation because I've been trying to hold this guest off for a while because, you know, he has a lot to say. And we often involve ourselves with powwows on a regular basis.
Yeah, so, on the stage.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, while other people paying for it.
Right, exactly.
On they die.
So,
yes.
Without further ado, let me introduce our guest, our illustrious guest. He is a band leader, drummer, world famous drummer, played with everybody. He's also one of my band leaders, and good friend, and a bunch of other stuff that the kind of he refers to me as the agitator.
That's right, the agitator. So that's right.
You know, yeah. Give it up for Mr. Gerald French, y'all.
Yeah. Eyes here, boss.
Yeah. And on my left, your right, my Sharia Moore, my two-way bell, my thorn in my side, my thorn in my side, my thorn in my side, my thorn in my side.
The crown of thorns.
Yeah.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Give it up for Maya, y'all. Yes, indeed. You know, sporting the Funky Nation jersey.
That'll work.
Damn, with the
I haven't even worn it yet. I
impress.
I haven't even worn it yet.
That's all right.
It wasn't for you. So exactly, no. Pretty much.
When you bring something good to the house, you ain't gonna wear it first.
You were correct about that.
I just told her a little while ago, nigga, you just live there. That's all. You pay bills and you live there. That's our house. Y'all listen to the white people living y'all home. That's her house.
Yes, indeed.
Just tell the truth and stay at church. Come on, man. What food is this?
And the Al Heyman the podcast. Yes, indeed. Yes,
indeed. This is the second episode of Bear Illuminating, the Al Heyman the podcast. The Black Stan Smith, the Black Rick from Rick and Morty, Lamborghini swerving, hydroplane swerving. Arabian
all that and a bag of beats.
Minister El Shabazz.
Yeah.
Right.
Minister El Shabazz.
Rock land.
Give it up for Mr. Roast Beef Jenkins, Mr. Herb Dawes. Roast Beef. Dressed. I told you need to run with that name, bro. I'm telling you.
Roast beef dressed.
I want to run with the name, but I want to put in a situation where it makes sense. I don't want to do it with the music production stuff, but I do want to do it on platforms like this.
Never mind. Somebody bring you around Fred Lonzo. Once Freddie give you a name, you stuck with it for life. I've been a giant. I've been a giant before I became a giant.
I'm telling you. Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana. We don't really care. Puff Daddy, Brother Love. All that, he got all the
holy girl. New Jack Swing. Man, Pharrell was like, okay, nigga,
we starting early.
It's gonna be like this the whole episode.
So basically, since we're around back to school time, this came up, and I was like, well, this might be the perfect time to have Gerald on the show, on the podcast, because he saw a clip from the last episode with Nicole on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get a call, Said, bruh, what you mean that girl don't know what the morphodise is? I'm like, said, bruh, she Gen Z, bruh. Like, she Gen Z.
Bruh,
They don't really talk. We don't really talk like that no more, bruh.
When you cross in the Orleans Parish, this one of the words you should know. And I'm gonna say like the comedian. Who raised you?
Who raised you?
How you ain't never hear this word?
But it brought about the thing for me because I was like,
And she was confused.
yeah, what is that?
Yeah, she was like literally stunned, and I'm like, what old people you been around, and what they been teaching you? You go to a family reunion. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm been a musician all my life. I grew up in church. You know something, you got them in church.
Right.
You know, and then the first thing they tell you, they boy, don't go in the bathroom. That boy, mama, don't you go in there with him. Wait till he come out of there. Don't do that.
He ain't gonna come out.
Stay away from
you know, you're gonna wind up going in there and get ganked. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get ganked. Go in there with them, you know?
The soft bigotry of our old folks, bro. I swear.
But it's just,
That's our culture.
but that's our culture, though. Mm-hmm. But also, like I said, and we was talking about this on the phone, you know, we got words in New Orleans, and they that way for a reason. Like I said, we be overseas, we can say that, and nobody know what the hell we talking about, except for the people from New Orleans.
Right.
You know, everybody's so sensitive now. With the alphabet people, you know, with the L, you know, I understand all that. I get it. Y'all want y'all place, y'all can have your place. I don't have no issue with none of that. But my thing is, if I don't agree, I just don't agree. And like I said, the beauty of the word, like morphodise, and the other one that you bulldag,
right.
And all that is, like I said, if you ain't from New Orleans, you don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Right.
So, you know, you can have your rainbows. You can have your rainbows.
You say is more southern.
What?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's like it's across the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's across the Confederacy.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to answer this, but I was like, well, bulldog is like southern, but morphodise is New Orleans.
That's New Orleans.
That's New Orleans. That's strictly New Orleans.
Yeah, that's strictly New Orleans. Strictly New Orleans.
You know, with us, you know.
In Georgia, they would say
exactly.
All
you know, but just like, you know, just musician talk. I mean, not only do you have the New Orleans talk, but you have the New Orleans musician talk.
Oh, Lord.
You know, because we used to say, man, that man got another type of gig. That's just...
Exactly.
Another type of gig.
Exactly.
It's another type.
That man is on another type of gig. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, but I brought it up because I was like, I said, I can probably bet $20 that like her generation, they just don't know. Like,
they don't know.
Right. They don't know the vocab.
No.
Right.
Because they didn't necessarily have the experience.
Now, when I was growing up, especially on my father's side of the family, they spoke Creole.
Yeah.
So when they wanted to say things and they didn't want you to know, they would switch and start speaking broken French.
Right.
And you didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
They could be talking about you, something that didn't happen, whatever. You know, so for me, words like morphodise and some of the other expressions that we use.
Passon blanc.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I was talking to somebody from France that was here, you know, we just talking, and, you know, she just wanted to really talk about the black experience of being in New Orleans and that type of thing.
Right.
I said, well, now you're talking about a whole dichotomy of, you know, you're talking about the mulatto, the quadroons, the octoroons. I said, you're talking about Passon Blanc. She's like, what's Passon Blanc? I said, Passon Blanc.
I got you.
I said, you speak French?
Right.
But then I had to realize, I was like, no, that's something that, this is the way that we use it.
Yeah. Well, just like, you know, you being ignorant and you from New Orleans and you go to Asia and you ask for Yakamine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an insult.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, and it's like, no, that's some New Orleans shit.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with no Asian.
Right.
You know, but you growing up, you know, you go to the Chinese.
Right.
You know, you figured That come from China.
No,
That's
man.
New Orleans. That ain't got nothing to do with
And that's the funny thing is that we get Chinese food served to us by Vietnamese.
Right.
Right. Right.
You know, like
nobody caught it.
yeah, nobody caught it. Nobody caught it. It's one of those things. I'd be like,
I mean, Chinese kitchen is Vietnamese. China, Vietnamese.
I mean,
Right.
the city of New Orleans is literally inhabited by Vietnamese,
Right.
South Vietnamese.
Right.
You know, who were escaping the war, refuge.
Right,
You know,
right.
in the early 70s.
Right.
You know, mid 70s. But they came in. They
Set up shop.
set up shop.
Yep.
And eventually they were able to take over the market. Period.
Right.
Right.
You know, so it's and now
Because
they have their own
Because they
part
gonna
of
do the job that you gonna telling people about you ain't doing.
Right.
That's why they was able to do
That's why
that.
they was
Yeah.
able to get it.
Hey, you ain't doing that. Man, I ain't come here to work today,
Hey, come
man.
man, look, get up and win.
See,
Please,
there
man.
you go.
Go ahead on all that, man.
That's why the people
Man,
got-
stop with all that, man.
Exactly.
Now y'all the corner stores, everything.
That's
Gas
the wrong
station,
gig,
everything.
you know. But
Restaurant.
Chevron.
but you know, have to understand also
She-she's.
that's right.
There you go.
Oh, the
There
whole
you-
stripper.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
Chef
She
Howard like fucking Vietnam.
Yeah.
bullet wounds and stab.
Massage parlors, which I need to go in there. Editor.
Now, see, now you sound like one of our musician friends. We ain't gonna go there. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. I ain't
and
gonna
so-
put nobody on the spot.
And so yeah, and I was like, I said, well, how about we just take a couple of these words, you know, because we're going back to school, and we want to put out
Right.
the New Orleans
vocabulary.
vocab,
Right.
this
But
New Orleans
sure.
vocabulary that
Yeah, so if you under 25, these some words that you need to know, and you can go to your next family reunion and say this and shock everybody because they're gonna be like, "Where you get that from? We ain't teach you that." Because obviously they're not teaching y'all nothing because y'all don't know these words.
Let them know.
Well, you know, it's like I said, a different generation is a different set of grandmas and grandpas. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, well,
it's a different set of grandmas and grandpas, so
Yeah,
that they don't have that same.
Grandpa 35. I understand. I get it.
You know, so I got a couple of words, to put it out there, you know, and one of us give a brief definition, you know, it's like that type of thing. So,
Oh Lord.
so now, you know, now that we had covered Malfadai, we didn't cover that, you know, and you know, shout out to Nicole because I know you're gonna look at this and be like, man, no, that ain't it, no, ain't it, no, I got you, baby.
You just
don't worry
don't
about
know. You just didn't
Yeah.
know. You just
Baby,
didn't
that's
know.
all right.
We're just trying to find out who raised you. That's all. You just didn't know.
you know. So
No shade. No shade. No shade.
Words like huckabuck,
Damn.
Right.
Nah,
Frozen cup.
Nice
Iceberg.
good.
frozen cup,
You can
Iceberg.
only get it from the
candy lady.
Right.
Yeah, you
That's
couldn't-
right.
Right. You gotta get some candy.
That's
In every
right.
neighborhood,
Got a
Got
candy.
it.
Candy
That's
candy
right.
lady.
They got one lady that sell frozen cups.
Yep.
nah,
Iceberg.
right.
Yep.
Now, sometimes you would have to go into the other neighborhood because that candy lady got the hucklebucks that's in the red cup.
Right. Right.
So you get a little
She
bit
got-
more
she
for
got-
your-
you get a
she
little
got-
more for
your-
you get
Yeah.
right. For 2 quarters, you can get 16 ounces.
Right.
You can get the big one.
You get
That's
the
right.
big one.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, another word that a lot of people already know, but it's just kind of like it's one of those New Orleans terms that I don't think Gen Z know. It's Nutriground.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Oh yeah, you
No,
can.
they don't
I'm
know
gonna be on the
nothing about
Nutriground side.
Yeah.
Right.
The neutral.
Now see that was
not
useful.
neutral.
Now see that was useful. That was useful for me when I would be marching in the parade.
Yeah, that's
So
Right.
that way you know what side to stand on when I pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Or
my junior year,
parade.
the parade.
The
parade.
Going to the
Now when I
parade.
was in my junior year, I was on the neutral ground.
Yeah.
Right.
For my senior year, I was the section leader, so I was on the sidewalk side. Yeah, you got to know
Oh,
these
New
things.
Orleans.
Nutriground.
And
I kind of read into the historical context of where that came from, you know, but it came out from just like a street war that happened, and like literally one side stood on the other side stood on the other, and the median, as
Right.
everybody else in the world knows it,
right.
you know, became the neutral ground because they claimed that was neutral territory.
Right.
So that's just
All the
the
time.
you know
Right.
the brief historical context of that, you know.
Right.
But I think everybody kind of we know it, but they don't. You know,
Right.
people don't. Like I said, I remember young people. You know, oh no, cross the neutral ground. What?
I got an interesting story about the neutral ground.
All right, go ahead.
And you gotta say it properly though.
Yeah,
Neutral.
Because you know they say
Yeah.
neutral, but
No,
it's
neutral.
Like
Neutral.
neutral.
Like neutral rat.
Right, neutral rat.
exactly.
What
Neutral.
happened to neutral rats?
Yeah, what happened to
still
them?
on the lake.
What you
They on
mean?
the lake.
They still got them in
Still-
Jefferson Parish. They use them for target practice.
I remember that.
Yeah, man, that people
And you
out
can
there
catch
shooting
them on
them and
the lake,
everything.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it all these parishes the 90s.
Well, you know,
They go out there and shoot them, right? In pickup trucks with about five cats on the back.
Right.
You know, with rifles in hand.
Yeah, they're trying to reduce that population.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got an interesting story about
Go
the
ahead.
neutral ground. One day I'm at my family house, and my grandmother's sister, my Aunt Leona, she said, "Come on, take a walk with me." I'm like, "All right, I'll take a walk with you." So we walk to Ferret Street, walk on down to Napoleon Avenue.
Yeah.
I said, "Why you want me to walk with you? I need to carry these bags." So I got the plastic bags in my hand.
Yeah.
She got plastic bags in her hand, and we walk. So when we get right down the corner by my school, I went to Our Lady of Lewis. We right on the corner, Ferret and Napoleon, right there where the parade turn.
Right.
The parade turn, right there. So, man, we in the middle of neutral ground, and I'm holding the bag. She said, "Hold the bag open." She told me, hold the bag. She said, "Hold the bag open." So I hold the bag open. Man, my aunt down there picking up the grass.
Yeah.
Putting the grass in the bag.
Oh wow.
Man, I'm like, "What this for?" That go with the mustard greens. I said, "What you mean?" She said, "Boy, that's pepper grass. That go with the mustard greens. Just hold the bag." So after she filled about 3-4 bags up, we went back to the house, cleaned it, put it in with the mustard greens.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the churn don't know nothing about
Oh,
that.
they're sharing on the number about
Yeah,
that.
no mustard. Yeah, nothing about no mustard greens
yeah.
and the pepper grass and all. No about that. But you got to get that off the neutral ground.
You gotta get that on the neutral ground.
That's
Yeah.
right. Off the neutral
Yes,
ground.
indeed. Another word that we that we say, you know, now everybody else refers to them as the Mardi Gras Indians.
Oh, the engines?
Yeah, we're the engines.
Engines.
Right.
Yeah.
They're the engines of the nation.
Right, but Indian is a derogatory term.
Well, you know,
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, you know, if you want to say it properly, it's indigenous. But that's a whole nother ballgame. We didn't come here for that today. We did not come here for no political shenanigans today. But yeah, we say engines. We don't say Indians.
Right.
Engines.
The engine.
Mardi Gras engines. Right. That's INJUN.
Yes, engine.
Professor Behel.
Yes, sir. That's an engine.
Engine. That's right.
All right, another word. I mean, another term that we usually use is cold drink.
Oh yeah. But see, people get that messed up because
I need a cold drink.
I need a cold
This
drink.
is a cold drink.
That's a
Like that,
cold
that's a
drink.
cold
That's
drink.
right.
Cold. That's a cold
It don't
drink.
matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter what kind it is.
Right.
It's a
I need a
cold
cold
drink.
drink.
Right.
That's right. Now we was having a discussion about that a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
In there about what cold drink go with the hot sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Big
with
shot,
cheese.
of course.
With cheese. Gotta have
With cheese.
cheese on hot sauce.
Hot sausage.
Hot sausage.
Patties. Got the
Patties. No links.
Fried
No, that's right. Fried home. Praise the Lord. You understand? And see when they would give them that government cheese?
On a whole nother level.
Thank you, Father. Woo! The government
bought a hot
cheese.
dog.
Woo! I like the Lakers
I
too.
shut top.
Yes, I like the Lakers. When you take that government cheese and you make that macaroni cheese, or you slice that government cheese and you put it on in hot sausage, praise the Lord.
Oh,
Thank you.
Lord.
That shit
Take it
different.
to a whole
Yes, it
nother
is.
level.
It's full of formaldehyde, but thank you. Yes.
I will die in a blaze of glory.
And I will not be hungry.
Right?
But
Exactly.
you had to have that pineapple big shit.
See, there we go. See
Pineapple.
that pineapple big shot.
Yes.
Right.
They got all kind of big shot. But,
Okay.
but
But
the
it-
pineapple,
The
I
pineapple.
don't know if they got crack Cisco, they got something in there.
I think it just has the right amount of sugar.
I don't know
It has
what
the right
it
amount of
is.
sugar.
It's not
I
too
think
much.
that-
It's not too. It's
I
not too
don't
much.
know what it
it's not
is,
too little.
but that
But with that
pineapple,
hot
because the pineapple flavor
Right.
yeah, it's
made
alright.
it even more sweet than what it really,
Exactly.
really is.
Right.
That's just what I
It
think.
hit different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
yes
It's
sir,
different.
yes sir. Pineapple Big Shot.
Pineapple.
Now for yours,
Big
for
Shot.
the audience that don't know what a Big Shot is, that's a local New Orleans cold drink. Big Shot,
Cold drink.
Big Shot, cold
Like
drink.
no D.
No
Cold
D,
drink.
cold drink.
Right.
That's right.
Cold drink, yeah.
Cold drink. That's right. now you want to tell them about that 1972 Yeti? You don't know about that?
You go ahead.
Now
Go
see,
ahead.
now see, y'all, y'all people these days, y'all got the Yeti, y'all got the nice little cup with the top and all
yeah.
that.
Right.
See, we ain't had all that back in the 70s. So you take them cold drinks and you put them in the freezer. And then you get that aluminum foil. After then the furl.
FURL.
You get that aluminum foil and you wrap them frozen cold drinks in that aluminum foil. And that's your Yeti until you get ready to open that
Yes,
sucker
Lord.
and drink.
Yeah.
So when you go on them field trips,
Yep.
you understand, you get them sandwiches.
Yep.
That's another word, sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
Now, my favorite kind of sandwich is the funeral sandwiches, the
square
sandwiches, the funeral sandwiches. But you get them sandwiches, you get them sandwiches, and a couple of bags of them Lay's potato chips.
Right.
Plain.
Plain.
Not all them flavors and all that, the barbecue and all that.
Plain.
And what they got the fire and the
That's that new stuff.
Yeah, that's new
Right.
stuff. Plain Lay's potato chips.
Right.
And a sandwich, and you get you one of them cold drinks wrapped in aluminum foil. That's the Yeti.
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
the
sir.
old school Yeti.
And
With
the
a
old
brown
school sandwich
paper
bag.
bag.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Brown
Ain't
bag.
no
Brown
lunch
bag.
boxes.
No.
Right.
But the sandwich had to be in the not the Ziploc bag.
No, sir.
But the regular sandwich
the one you got
bag.
the fold.
Yeah,
You got the fold. That's
Flip
right.
it over.
That way it get the right amount of air, so it be stale just on the outside.
Hold on, man. Ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Bunny bread.
Yes,
Oh,
Lord.
sounds
Sounds bunny bread.
Come on,
Lord.
man.
Got
Yes,
to be
sir.
on bunny bread.
It ain't no sandwich left
Well, see,
on
my-
bunny bread.
Plantation.
I had to literally wean myself off of bunny bread.
Yes, sir.
Because when I was growing up 12, 13, 14 years old, every other day, I lived literally down the street from the bunny bread factory.
Right.
I literally had to wean myself off of it because I was going there every other day
To get a loaf of
to
bread.
the stove, to the
Yes,
bread
sir.
stove to get a loaf of bread.
Look, all
We
you
used to
need.
take
and
field
run
trips to
through.
bunny
I missed
bread.
the honey
Exactly.
buns.
You know, just
Oh,
to
yeah.
They had the
Obvious
field
stuff.
trip.
Honey
That's
buns,
right.
dog.
That's right. Yeah, but look.
Oh yeah, that's right. Huh?
Look.
We used to take a field trip to
But,
bunny
but
bread
like
factory.
you said,
yeah.
the plantation bunny bread,
Yeah, it got to be
Yes.
plantation.
the plantation,
On a
and
different
a stick
level.
of butter. Man, that's a
Yeah.
meal right
That's a
there.
whole meal. Oh,
Not
but-
margarine.
Look,
well,
not
I was
margarine.
just
Not
about to
margarine.
bring up-
Not margarine, butter.
I was going to bring up the pork and beans and weenie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
D
poor
and D
man
sausage.
Okay.
That's right.
D&D.
That's right, D&D sausage. That's
Pork
right.
and beans and weenies. What else we would have? Egg and rice.
Egg and rice.
yeah.
These are
Hood
gourmet
hibachi.
meals.
That's the hood
These are
hibachi.
gourmet
Man,
meals.
look, especially if you got
These
some,
kids don't
especially if
know.
you got some onion powder and some green onion. Man, look.
Whip it up.
Whip it up.
Man,
And
Hood
what?
hibachi.
Cream corn and rice.
Yeah,
And
ooh,
to
yes,
this day,
sir.
to this
Yes,
day, no
Lord.
matter how
Yes,
rich
Lord.
you know some of our people
cream
are,
corn and rice and a pork chop.
And
Yeah.
a pork chop.
My Lord, thank you, Father. Yes.
Take it to another level.
The first time I went to Germany, I had to dance a jig. Boy, them Germans know what to do with a piece of pork. But they take that schnitzel and they flatten it out. And then they pound it like they do in the Salmon War. They run it through that egg wash and then put them crumbs on and
Fry that thing up.
man, I said, man, send me another one of them movies. Yeah, please send me.
Take it to another level.
If there's a God in heaven, send me another one, please. Man, them people, that and the potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
yes, sir.
See, the people know what to do with a piece of pork over there. Thank
Alright.
you, Father. Yes.
So
Yes.
one of the words, there are a couple other words that we got. I know y'all not going to be familiar with it, but it is what it is.
Oh,
This
yeah.
has always been a New Orleans term. Shive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
They don't
like
nothing about
shive is the epitome of getting yourself together.
I'm talking about.
You look in the part. You know, it's
Joe
like
jeans,
jump shot.
t-shirt, and some G-Nights.
Now look, we had the security guard at my high school. That was his nickname.
Yeah, Shop.
That what he would tell. Oh yeah, Shipe.
Right. Yeah.
What? Man, Shipe, you looking good today, Shipe. You kind of fresh there, boy. Looking good, Shipe. Call everybody Shipe.
Yeah.
I see, they don't know nothing about that. Yeah, be clean. Be clean.
Jabot jeans, you done used the whole entire can of starch.
Right.
Now see,
and you
now
got
you.
the right cuff.
Yeah, see, now you going back in the game. Yeah. Man, look, that was
Starch so tight you can put them in and you can set them up
man,
and
look, you
stand them up in the corner of the room.
by themselves.
Right.
Man, look, I had two dudes that was in my the tenor drum section when I was at Full Shield. And bro, every day, the Parker brothers, every day, Jabot jeans, polo size, polo shirt, and Reebok.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. The
Every
soldiers.
day.
Every day.
Every
Soldiers,
day.
The soldiers, yeah.
And look, every color Jabot they had.
Yeah, they had.
They had them.
Yeah.
Pants could stand up in the corner by themselves. Could walk to class.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah, bro, that was the uniform there.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
Shit,
That
back
was-
in the 80s, man, that was the uniform to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ain't had a pair of Jabot jeans, boy, you might well stay alone.
From Rubenstein on Connect.
That's where they shopped
all
at.
right,
That's
yeah.
what-
My generation used to get it from Soul Train.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But you got to understand, like, Rubenstein was the place.
Of course.
You know, but like I think part of that is that everything was kind of centralized for us, and I think I was the last generation to actually get that in.
Now, see, you didn't open up a can of worms. You didn't open up a can of worms. You talking about rumors things. Fuck all that, man. I got one word to shut all that down.
Uh-oh.
Kraus.
Ooh, yes, you get
Now
your
you want
person.
to talk about New Orleans?
Donuts.
Let's talk about Kraus.
Everything from Kraus.
You could build a house from Kraus.
Hell yeah.
Ain't nothing Kraus didn't have.
Right.
Kraus
You're
had
right.
everything.
You know, they had everything. Food, furniture, clothes, candy.
Shit,
Yep.
the building was big enough.
Exactly.
I'm saying,
The building
but
was
I'm
And
just
you
saying.
go to Kraus and get your Daniel Greens.
Hello,
at
good
one
evening.
time.
Hello, good evening. I done had enough of them thrown at me. I know all about Daniel Green.
My grandmother had all the metallic colors.
Man, look, I'm telling you.
No, all
Look,
metallic.
sister always had
Gold,
the
silver,
gold.
and bronze.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm telling you, my grandmother was part Aboriginal, bro. She could make that Daniel, she could make that Daniel Green go around the corner. Pop right beside the head.
Every grandma
Right beside the head.
Oh, yes, sir.
Every grandma had a moo-moo.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. They call them house dresses.
Yes.
House
Yes,
dresses.
yes.
That's right.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about that because we had that conversation.
Uh-oh.
Let's give it 5 minutes. Because we in the previous episode I talked about how all these women nowadays are just trying to get snatched and trying to tuck and snatch everything in their body and all that type of stuff.
Ain't nobody worry about all that.
Just to wear the tightest of the dresses and to kind of just to be out there. And I was like, you know what?
Mama had 12 kids.
Yeah, Mama had 12 kids. And she had a muumuu and rollers in her head.
That's right.
And that was the most attractive thing to her husband.
And guess what? And guess what? And guess what? When he came home, he wasn't hungry.
Right.
Guess what? Guess what else? When he came home, his house was clean.
Yeah.
Right.
And the kids
Guess what?
was doing what they
When he
need to
came
do.
home, the bill was paid.
Yeah.
Because she took that money and made sure it was paid.
Yeah.
Right.
I keep telling y'all, you just lived there. You just lived there. You don't run nothing at that house.
But I just said, I come to the realization years ago, but I realized I was like, bruh, ain't nothing more sexy than the woman in the kitchen with the muumuu on and the rollers or a bonnet.
You
Something.
Now, see, you got
just-
to have the right bonnet. You got to have the right body.
Yeah, the right body.
Yeah, no. You got to have the one with the lace around the bottom.
Right.
Not that stretching one.
Right.
You got to get the one with the lace, the one that hold that perm up in there. You understand? That's the one.
Yes,
See, that's
sir.
the
Yes,
one
sir.
right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, and especially when she in the kitchen, I just be like, all right now.
I bring that thing back.
Yes, sir.
So let me turn that burn off.
How you say that thing
Right.
Say like the old man. Brace yourself, Effie. Brace yourself. Here I come. Brace yourself.
I'm coming in for a land.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But it don't know nothing about that, man. You know, but like I said, but my thing is, man, you know, this generation is so into image.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with having a positive image, but my thing is, you go through all of that, you spend all that money for the surgery, spend all them hours in the gym and all that, and then you still ain't happy with yourself.
Sound like you need to do some mental work, you know, instead of
Something else is wrong.
Oh yeah, so, yeah. Like I said, that we can go about that all
You know what I'm
day.
saying?
Yeah,
You know, because like I said, the women I know, they like the playground.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They like to
Have
play
a
the
feel
yeah.
Have something to hold on.
Yeah.
Built for
If she
comfort,
got
not for
straight
speed.
up and
Built for
stuff.
comfort. Yeah.
Man,
You know, it ain't
like,
what it
yeah,
is.
man
And
does
just like I
not
was telling Maya,
care.
see, you know, if it's a situation where it's health related,
That's
like,
different.
you know, if you suffering back, your legs, or, you know, it's a situation where you got high blood pressure, you got diabetes, and you need to lose this weight in order for you to be healthy, that's
You can do
a
it all
whole
day.
nother dynamic.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But if you just doing it to look like, you know,
Kim Kardashian.
yeah, you're doing it to look like Cardi, or you're doing it to look like, you know, Spice or one of these other. I mean, that's whatever.
But my thing is, bro, like, what's the purpose of these women getting surgery just so they all can look the same? Because it's like a similar, like, city girls, all from, like, everybody the same. It's like, y'all want you to go into the same doctor.
That wasn't the intention. I think that wasn't the intention. The intention was to just look better than what they believed they were.
But they looked good before that.
Yeah, but you're a man. You're a man. No. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but see, we got a different. See, they do that to look good for each other. They're not doing that to look good for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're trying to compete with each other.
And what real men find attractive in a woman,
It's her flaws.
Simplicity.
I mean, it's the simplicity
Right.
of things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
A woman who doesn't wear makeup, like who doesn't beat her face.
Right.
yeah, but my thing is this. If you wake up in the morning and you look good and you ain't got no makeup on, and then you do put makeup on, makeup is supposed to enhance what you have naturally.
Yeah, right.
So if you don't look good without the makeup,
Right.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. But here's the thing. I still don't think you're supposed to beat your face, though.
yeah.
I don't even think you're supposed to beat your face. I think we crossed that threshold because we've gotten into these women beating their face so much, like putting so much makeup on.
What is cake?
It's to compete. I think it's part of it is competing with men who cross dress.
Wow.
Or men are transsexuals.
Well, I mean, well, my thing is they have to put that on in order to make themselves look like. I mean, and I've played gigs where I've been around them, and the transformation is like,
can't tell the difference.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, bro. And I mean, so if that's what you're competing with,
you're gonna lose every time.
Yeah, I mean, but
they're trying to look like you, what you already naturally are.
Exactly.
But like I said,
but that's a whole, that's a whole nother episode right there.
Yeah, because you don't want me to get started.
No. I gotta go back and listen to it because I'd be interested to hear what you had to say as being a woman. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but for us as men, I mean, the stuff y'all trying to get rid of, the stuff we like. I mean,
The competition thing, I feel like the only person that you need to be in competition with is the
yourself.
one you marry.
Right.
Because can't nobody do me like I do me.
Exactly.
So, bitch, I ain't in competition with no damn body.
Ain't nobody gonna ever be you.
Right.
Exactly.
It's all about taking what
It's
you
all
have
about
and making it
what
work
you-
for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
So,
like me.
yeah,
I used to be self-conscious about my chest health. Women be talking about, you gotta tackle me this and that. I said, no, girl, that's an aphrodisiac. Touch it, you might melt.
What you say? What you say?
Man, next thing you know, one girl she said, "Oh, I thought it was rough." I said, "No, girl, this is a belt. What
That man said, that man said, I got that fur. Got that fur to make, yeah, got that fur to make you purr.
Sometimes you gotta use what
always
you got,
have
and make it work.
Yeah,
You have to.
Like,
don't smoke that Jeffrey. You're gonna stroke the furry walls, baby. Don't go smoking the Jeffrey. You're gonna want to stroke the furry walls, baby.
It is what it is.
That's the thing, though. Every girl I get close, like, I don't like me with Chester, but something about yours. I'm like, I make it look good.
Man, it is what it is.
It's the truth.
But and I think that's part of it. Is just that as men, I think we've been through the stages of, like that thing where it's just kind of like we don't care what our flaws are.
Right.
We just don't care because we've been told we've had a myriad of flaws all our lives,
Right.
Exactly.
and we just be like, all right,
But my thing is this: you're not gonna please everybody.
yeah,
So the only
So
person
why
you really
not
have to
please
worry
yourself?
about pleasing is yourself. Now, if you not the cup of tea for that woman, granted,
right,
Cool.
it is what it is. But for every woman that don't like you, there's gonna probably be one or two that do.
4.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And and my thing is, the real erogenous zone is between the ears. It's up here. So, no woman who is really intelligent wants a man that can't talk, that can't express itself,
Right.
that can't explain things.
Like
So if you're dealing with somebody that don't like a man that does those things, then she ain't the one for you, know it.
Right.
Leave her alone. Leave her
So
right
like-
there. She
like
might be
Diddy.
cute, but just leave her right there. She gonna
They
be
tell you
all right.
like Diddy in the movie, you got a mind fuck 'em. They're like a good mind fuck.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you ever seen Get Him to the Greek?
Nah.
Oh
What
man,
movie
it's
What movie?
Get Him to the Greek.
Oh,
With Russell Brand,
Yeah.
Mr. Crowe. Well, not Russell Brand, I think.
All right, I gotta check it out.
Oh man, it's got Diddy in it,
Right.
But that's what he's like. Man, you need to smoke this Jeffrey.
Right.
It's like, man, why you call it a Jeffrey? Because nobody's afraid of a Jeffrey.
Right.
But it was getting them
Right.
psychedelic and
Right.
so he had a wall, that was like a fur wall, like an alpaca wall or something like that.
Right.
So he just like, nah, man, look, don't worry about it, bro. Stroke the fur wall, stroke the wall, stroke the wall.
man.
Hey, calm you down.
like a security blanket.
Oh man, that's recommended watching, y'all.
Who
That's
else- who
it's a
else
funny
would
movie. Get Him to the Greek.
It is what it
Was
is.
it's with your boy, the dude, the
Jonah Hill?
one that was Jonah Hill.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
And
yeah,
he's
that's
an
before
intern or something.
before the transformation.
All right. Before he lost all that.
Before he lost the weight.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It happens.
So I got one more word.
Uh-oh.
But it describes a certain neighborhood that I believe that everybody knows about. If you're not from New Orleans, but if you're from New Orleans, you should know. Back of town.
Right.
So back of town. So like nowhere else have I ever heard anybody say something about you need to go back of town or don't go back of town.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just one of those words. But you know exactly what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what part of the city they're talking about. You know about it. It's just back of town.
Or if you're from a certain part of town, you know not to go in other
Right.
parts of town.
Right.
We had that conversation earlier.
Yeah, especially in that day. Yeah, especially back in our day. Yeah.
Back in that day. No.
Yeah, like, I live downtown. He live uptown.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted to go uptown. He never wanted to come downtown.
Exactly.
Right.
I see you on Canal Street.
Yeah, see you
as
on
we
Canal-
pass.
The neutral ground.
In the neutral ground.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And then I had no sticks in your hand.
Oh, it's on.
Because it's challenge time.
It's on.
Right.
It's on.
We'll find a pole and
Man, what
Oh, garbage can.
garbage can.
Yeah,
That was
garbage
it.
can.
Let's run
garbage
it.
can was for the snare drummers because they had
Yeah,
all the way.
Yeah,
And everybody,
yeah.
Everybody played the same all the way cadence.
Of course.
So
Of course.
just cats just jumping in.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those things. I think that is probably one of the biggest elements that's left the city. We had to, like for the most part, we had to engage.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it ended in fights,
Of course.
or whatever.
Some type of
We had to have some type of engagement.
Of course.
I went to Noka, so I would catch the magazine bus all the way down. That's when Noka
Well, uptown.
was way uptown.
Yeah, he had to come uptown.
Yeah, I had to come uptown.
Come
So
on, uptown.
I made sure I had to catch that magazine bus because if I caught the streetcar or I tried to catch the whatchamacallit, I was gonna probably mess around and see one of them faux shade dudes coming out of practice.
Right.
And I can't be walking around in my Kennedy uniform, around faux shade.
Exactly.
Right.
And not expect the challenge to happen.
What you got in that case? What
What that is,
happened?
man. What that is, nephew.
What did you do? Yeah.
Right.
Can you play above the staff? What's that?
I don't hear nothing else. Can you yike?
Exactly. Straight up.
You can yike? All right, let's get it.
Man, look, I remember one day getting off the Ferret bus on Canal Street. We getting off the bus, man. We going to the arcade, wherever we was going.
Penny Lane.
Depending.
Man, we get off the bus and they got all them green and yellow jackets at the bus stop.
And John the man.
On to the mat.
We gonna have to fight.
Yeah, that's time to fight.
We gonna have to fight. Oh Lord.
But here's the thing though, it was still a centralized setup. Whereas that we still had to come on Canal Street because we knew that was the exchange point.
Of course.
That was the central.
Right.
So it's like, at that time I was living in New Orleans East. So I would have to catch one of those buses or the streetcar, St. Charles streetcar, to Canal Street.
Right.
And then walk down to go catch the Morrison. The Morrison.
By the joy, right?
By the joy. By the joy. So it was like, no matter what time of day it was, 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, or whatever in the evening, we still out there.
Well, yeah, you gonna
still
see
trying to
somebody.
get it in.
You
You
gonna see
working it out.
somebody.
But I think that interaction helped us. First and foremost, create more respect for what the city is and like everything that works around it.
Right.
Well, just like, for me, I never heard the term music nerd
Yeah.
until I got to college.
Yeah.
That's a foreign term to me.
Right.
Because in my high school,
We had a
the
culture.
band ran the school. What
Right.
you talking about?
Right.
Drum major
Music
was the
nerd.
most popular person in school.
That was like the prom king.
Right. Right.
I mean, the drum major couldn't do no wrong.
Yeah, to hell with that quarterback.
Now in my school at Fouché, we had all the sports. We had academics too, and all that. But they used to always tease us. And what I mean by that is, football season, we had maybe a hot 70, 75 in the band.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 at the most.
Oh.
Parade season come.
300.
Yeah, we marching,
150.
we marching 150. 125.
With the extra 500 people on the neutral ground walking with them.
Well, see, that's why. Now, see, that's why we used to get to speak. Tell your little friends stay home. We don't need them following us. We ain't gonna never be able to finish the parade because they're gonna pull us out, tell them stay at home. That was Mr. Brimmer. Tell you that all the time. But all the dudes who played basketball, football,
you go on,
baseball, ran track.
Shout out to the Orleans Parish School board, whoever, that decided to rename the school because I thought that was very fitting.
Yeah, they needed that.
For a person who was more invested in children's lives, than anybody else at the school, much less anybody else uptown.
Right.
Because the band. I think the reason why people don't get it is because they don't understand now how the culture
Right. They don't.
saved so many lives.
Well, I mean, and also, man, Mr. B was like the daddy for, for so many kids who didn't have a daddy at home.
Right.
I mean, he was that daddy. He was that uncle. For some, when he got older, he was that grandfather for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, not only did it at Foch, he also did it at Con.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, you got to give this man his respect.
Yeah.
And I mean, for some of us, man, it kept us out of jail.
Right.
It kept us, grounded.
Yeah.
And he always would talk about the real world. Say, yeah, y'all playing now. He said, but when y'all graduate and get out there in that real world gonna show you something. And he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
The real world ain't nothing to play with.
Which brings me to, which brings me to the thought that I just had, and I was like, man, those cats back then, just all of those band directors, all of those music educators, just educators in general, because we all have, with every grade that we went into, especially in high school, junior high school, middle school, whatever, we all have that one teacher every year that had already been put their 30 years in.
Exactly.
Right.
And their ultimate goal was to teach you.
Right. That's all they were there for.
That's all they cared about, teaching you.
Right.
So I guess I have a soft spot for like when something like that happens. It was, that school should have been the Elijah Bremer High School. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, because it's giving the homage to the ones who put in that work.
Right.
He been there since what, 79, 80?
Yeah. And I can go down the road. Lloyd Harris, Walter Harris.
Yes, sir.
Joe Tarragano.
Yes, sir.
Like there's Edwin Hampton.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a number of them who was like, no, my job is for, 30, 40 years is to do nothing but teach these children.
Right.
Not about just band or, whatever.
About life.
About life.
Life.
Discipline.
Yes. And also being dedicated.
Dedicated to something greater than yourself.
Right.
I was talking with another elder about it, and I said, when you have people who already have found their purpose, when they retire, they die. Like name, and I would be like, and I was like, man, name a musician who had to either be forced into retirement or, just retired just because. How much longer did they live?
Right.
Literally.
Right. Not long.
I remember Lionel Frobros. Lionel Frobros was what,
101, I think.
101, yeah. 101 years old, still playing the trumpet.
Right.
Oh, wow.
The minute they told him to stop playing, he checked out. Yeah. So, I have that thing. And it's just
he played a gig and was feeling bad, went to the hospital the next morning. Oh.
It's that type of thing, like Johnny Guitar Watson. He's in Japan, he's just playing on stage, So it's those type of things, and I just wanted to put that out there because I wanted to shout out like all of these educators who kind of dedicated themselves who really cared, and I think that's something that we're trying to get back, but it's a long road because you have all of these other.
It's going to get our PhD.
It's going to take. It's going to take us to bring that back. And if you're not somebody that's been through that system, there's no way you can institute that system. It's got to be somebody who done been through that in order to bring that level of dedication and grind back.
These kids today, the microwave.
Yeah, well, everything is instant gratification. It's a microwave society. And they think that,
they don't understand it's a process.
Right. Oh, yeah. But just like all the years it takes for you to refine what you do as a musician. These kids don't have the not only just the discipline, but just the concentration to sit there and work on things. Like You know, this man has spent years playing scales, years learning melodies, years with that trumpet on his mouth. You know, that's not something that just comes overnight.
Yeah.
You know, I've been beating on stuff since I was 5.
What did Cliff say?
What close?
But first you gotta go whap.
Exactly.
Realtors, do you need some special aerial photography or video footage? Or maybe you need some stock footage of the city for your presentation? Or maybe a beautiful shot of a landmark just to hang on your wall? Well, time for you to check out DM NOLA Shots. They are a drone photography and videography company established in New Orleans who specialize in capturing aerial 4K video and photo. Check out the website at www.dmnolashotsllc.com or follow us on social media at DM NOLA Shots on Instagram and Facebook. DM NOLA Shots.
Who raised you?
Yeah, speaking of who raised you.
Who raised you?
The next topic I want to talk on is one of these things that made the headlines, you know, within the last week or two. Now we've learned about, you know, one of the most famous producers ever, Dr. Dre, having to pay $300,000 a month to his ex-wife, right? But I was like, but there's some math to that, you know. So basically, she'll get about $3.6 million a year for 30 years, right? I said, but what a lot of people don't realize is that he is worth $800 million. And I think it's like 400 million of that is actual in liquid cash, liquid capital. So once you get to that level of capital gains, the bank gives you a lot more leeway.
Not only just
a lot more
that,
yield, you know, percentage yield.
Not only just that, but do you know what the interest is?
That's the interest yield. Yeah, but the yield. So the yield, I think they can, you know, in some financial instruments, they give you up to 10% yield on, you know, money just to hold the money in their institution.
Without the 10%, you get $8,000 a month for just holding $1 million in a checking account.
Yeah,
$8,000. I can live off $8,000 a month.
Yeah. And
comfortably.
But that's so now everybody who's hearing this, y'all know the secret. Y'all got a secret. Holler rich, stay rich.
Yeah,
but
let that money sit.
Yeah, so basically he has a number of accounts that like average around 7% yield. So $400 million. If you don't even touch a dime of the money that's actually in the bank, $400 million at a 7% yield is around what? Shit. I can't even count right now.
About $2.5 billion.
No, at about $20 million. So
yeah, $20 million. I'm sorry.
About $20 million.
I added an extra zero.
So let's just be modest and say 5. Let's just say be modest and say 5% yield. At $400 million, that's $20 million a year. Right? So that's $20 million a year and that's the secret, people. You know, you have $400 million in the bank. Just in the bank, let's just say a checking account. They're going to give you the yield because they need the money. They need that money to help borrow out to people and everything else. So they're going to make around $2 billion off that money. You know, so like they're gonna make at the very least 100%, you know, profit off of that money. So giving you 5 is absolutely nothing just to keep the money in the bank. So Dr. Dre is probably bringing in about $20 million a year in interest alone.
Right.
So it don't make no sense. It don't make no difference for him to give 3.6 to an ex-wife for something that he don't even have to do. You know, so it's like it's one of those things. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And so here, take that money. You can forever.
But they say the rules is that if she remarried.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, but she has absolutely no incentive to remarry.
For what?
First of all, First of all, because she probably won't find anybody that makes any more money than Dr. Dre. Than Dre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one. Unless she just lucks up and
Find a foreigner.
Yeah, like foreigner, like dudes like Janet Jackson did.
Mustafa.
Yeah.
It's the beard. It's the beard.
It's the beard. So with that happening is Dr. Dre's eldest child. I forgot her name was Tanya, something like that. She's 38 years old. But she put it out there kind of on social media and everything else. She wasn't necessarily mad or anything because she talked about the ex-wife getting her money. The problem is she said he hasn't necessarily been a good father to her. And got to the point where he was paying her rent, right?
Right.
While he was paying her rent, that type of thing, he stopped paying her rent around March of 2020. What happened in March of 2020?
Right.
There's a pandemic. So, I think there's something else that was going on and she didn't want to talk about it, or that's a part of the story that I want to really know about. So she had been kicked out of her apartment. And so she said she had been living in her car, which was a rental, which is a rental car.
Wow.
That she was $2,800 behind on the payment. So, so she's just kind of like a slight drag from, about her dad and everything else, because at one point they had agreed that he was going to pay their college tuition, but he reneged on that. And, pretty much for whatever reason, he did not support, her mother, and her sister.
Right.
So it brought about this whole thing for me, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, okay, there's a number of discrepancies here that we need to address.
Right.
And I'm like, and that's the first thing. I was like, first of all, you're 38 years old with 4 children.
Right.
And so my question is, okay, where is any of those 4 children's father?
Right.
Now she didn't go into if she had multiple men, multiple fathers or just as one, or whatever. She didn't go into that, or didn't, there wasn't any type of thing up. So she voiced to her, and then one of the other things that she did was voice to her embarrassment of knowing that like she has to work Uber Eats and DoorDash to make ends meet while she's living in her car. And so I'm like, okay, something must have happened.
Right.
For him to just stop paying your rent. First of all, that's one word, operative word, let's go there. Rent. Your father is pretty much a billionaire.
Right.
How, pray tell, did you not do any planning?
Right.
Any planning whatsoever? For your future or whatever. Were you just spending, or you just
spend it all?
Well, you thought that gravy train wasn't gonna never stop,
right?
And I mean, that's your daddy. I get it,
but he's not obligated.
But you grown. You grown.
He don't owe anything.
Yeah, he don't owe you nothing.
Nope.
I mean, and then on top of that, you got 4 of your own children. So what kind of precedent are you setting?
I stopped at 1.
Yeah, but what kind of precedent are you setting for your kids? So if your kids, when they get to be of age, start doing the same thing that you were doing, you're going to have a fit because you don't have the access to the money that your father has.
Right.
But my thing is, your father being who he is, why didn't you buy a house?
Exactly.
Why are you renting?
Right. Why are you
in a rental car? So that lets me know that whatever he did give you, you squandered it.
Right.
You squandered it.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, well
Well,
you ain't learned, so guess what? You on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I think at least the way she was setting up the narrative, is that he didn't do any of that for her. Like,
I doubt that seriously.
you know, I mean, of course, we all doubt that. You know,
But my thing is, as a father, when my daughter was younger, you get them $300 to $700 phone calls. And the
Daddy.
first, exactly. See, that's the first thing. Daddy. And then you get, see what had happened was, and then you get the story.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, that happened until my daughter was maybe 21. And then now, we got a little fiance, they live together, whatever. And, she got that French hustle system going on. Multiple streams of income.
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You got the grind. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Now, if she in a pinch, daddy coming through like a champion.
Yeah.
But my thing is, now at 27 years old, you not in my pocket like you was when you was a kid.
Right.
Now when you was in high school, you was in college, guess what? Daddy obligated. Right. Daddy gonna make sure it go down like it's supposed to go down. But you done moved in with somebody, you about to get married, you grown.
Right.
So guess what?
And once kids come in there
you go, partner, you got that.
Yeah.
Right.
This is yours.
This is your responsibility. It's not my responsibility no more.
Right.
Now, if anything happen, she's sick or y'all not together no more, she needs some money to move, whatever.
Right.
Daddy
Got
coming.
you. Right.
I got you, baby. You straight.
Right.
But that every month I got to no. I sing that song.
And then with the four
My
kids,
money is
I
my
just
money.
don't understand that.
My money is my money.
I never understood that concept. I'm not saying you shouldn't have kids, but if you are struggling with one,
Right.
okay,
Why keep repeating the same
repeating
cycle?
the same, like putting yourself in that same.
You putting yourself further and further behind the eight ball.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
like it don't make no sense. It took me one time, and he what? Gone on 20.
Yeah, you understood quick,
I
didn't
understand that. Well, because see, my mama told me what I told mine. I got shit to do every day.
you? Right.
That's your baby.
Right.
Bitch, I got shit to do. And I
Right.
was 21 when I had my son. But she still had shit to do every day. She said, if I'm sleeping on my sofa and ain't doing shit, bitch, I still got shit to do every day. Bitch, I got shit to do.
That just let you know she wasn't.
I'm not intervening in that, and I'm not being a part of that.
No.
That's yours.
You
So
did that.
if you put yourself in that.
You did that.
You did that.
You did
But
that.
I like how y'all did that, because that was the question I was going to pose. Because there are some people who are looking at Dr. Dre, and like I say, I'm no defender of Dr. Dre at all.
Right.
Because he has his own set of, dumb shit that he's done. Especially when it came to women, in his relationships with women.
Well, I mean, money me. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You come on, bro. You already know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Money makes for some strange bedfellows.
Right.
So I get that, and so it once again it raises up the question, because I think I did this in another episode. I raised the same question. At what point do you believe that the hands should go off?
Right.
At what point do you believe that, is it just an objective thing where it's just, whenever I believe they are mature enough, or they are confident enough to handle that?
Well, I think it should be a combination of both. And the reason that I say that is everybody don't mature at the same level.
Of course.
But my thing is, if I'm helping to take care of you and you keep making the same mistakes, then I need to let you make your mistakes until you figure it out.
Right.
Right.
If I'm helping you, I'm not going to sit there and aid in the bed or assist you or enable you to keep making the same mistakes. I'm not going to do that. Because that's going to put me in the hole.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I think it should be a combination of both. Whether the level of maturity is where it needs to be, or if they've taken the time and they've taken the assistance to help get themselves financially secure where they can start taking care of themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of kids who have parents that have that kind of wealth, they think that their parents are obligated to
Take
keep
care of them.
doing these things. And they're not.
Yeah.
They're
Matter of
not.
fact, we did talk about that because
That's
we
their
talked
money.
about Kirk
That's
Franklin.
not your money.
Yeah.
That's their money. That's not your money.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Yet
and like
again,
and like
Cliff
and like Bill
Huxtable.
Cosby,
Yeah.
like Bill,
Cliff Huxtable
Cliff-
said.
yeah, doc, you know, he's just
Me
Dr.
and your
Huxtable.
mother are rich.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly, exactly.
You just live here.
You just live here. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. You know, I mean, so I mean, you know, yeah, your parents got money, but that don't necessarily translate that you got money.
Right.
No, you live here.
No, my brother.
Yeah, and you my child. That's the only
Gotta
reason
get
you
one-
live
gotta
here.
get your own. No, my brother.
the law
You gotta get
say-
your own.
Yeah, exactly. No, my brother. Yeah. I mean, but it's just, I mean, you know, and like I said, man, her being 38 and you got 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if them kids,
And the kids are actually, she said that all 4 kids are kind of scattered with family
Damn.
because she doesn't have, she can't really take care of them at this point.
well, you need to go scatter with your kids
Right.
and
Well,
get yourself
why is it
together.
that you can't go scatter with your kid?
Nah.
You know, that's a question that I ask. You know, it's like, okay, well, why can't you go stay with?
Well, like I said, my
So
thing
and
is
so.
my thing is this. You know, like I said, I was 38 hot this morning. You know, but it's stuff like this that make me go off.
Right.
Because see, as far as I'm concerned, that's dumb shit.
Right.
Right.
Ain't no way in the world you 38 years old and you can't figure out what you need to do. At 38,
Yeah, 38.
you still don't know what to do.
Right.
Guess what? You need to go ahead
Even
on
if
and
it's
get
the
you
basics,
get you a can of Raid and call it a day. If you can't figure it out at 38, come on, bro.
Yeah, because we all get stuck on certain
I mean,
things, but
and
those
like I
are
said,
just the basic.
and there's
you know
nothing
what I mean?
wrong with
Like,
people needing help.
Right.
But if you keep repeating the same cycle and you done it 4 times,
Yeah,
Right.
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 you be like, yeah.
Well, you know,
all the money your daddy got
Mm-hmm.
and all the money that your daddy has given you, no matter if he's been a good father or not, why you didn't take that money and buy you a house?
Yeah.
It might not be the house that he live in,
Right.
but at least you would have your own house.
I think,
your
but I
kids
think
to
couple
stay.
But see, what the problem is, you want the $10 million house he got.
Right.
You don't want the $200,000 house.
Without
Right.
You
doing
understand?
what he did.
Yeah.
to
Paid
get
off.
that.
Yeah, you don't want that house. You want to live
Right.
where he
Like he
lived.
living.
See, that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
A
That
lot
was
of
the
kids
problem.
are like that too.
And I guess that's why I was like, you know what? Because there's not a part of me that wouldn't think that if she'd have took that $200,000 house or, you know, $300,000 house, because it's California, so it's 5.
5 or 6, maybe
Right.
7.5.
Right, yeah. You know,
For a decent house.
And
I mean,
and
which
should have took that.
I mean, the same money here, you could $700,000. You could build a mansion in Louisiana.
Right.
You
Right,
know?
exactly. And so I'm like, okay, there's no way in the world that I could look at that and go, you can take that money. I mean, you can take that house. You can borrow against the house because the house is probably paid off. You know, borrow against the house to start a business of your own that you're trying to get into or what have you. You know, and then you can make your own money, and then you'll be very surprised that your daddy will come in and be like, "Oh, okay, you making those type of moves?
Yeah.
All right, let me dip another."
Yeah.
You know, and that's I guess it's just
Or let me
and-
turn you on to somebody that's gonna help you expand your business.
right,
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, but like
let
I said,
me connect you.
But like I said, you know, they always want to quote these Bible verses. But, you know, if you don't put no work with that faith, it's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to work. That's the number one thing. You got to put some effort. There got to be something else happening besides just the prayer.
Yeah, right,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
And that's where people fall short.
right.
You know, and like I said, just like all of these artists who make it and all of a sudden, you know, they're a superstar overnight. That person will put 20, 25 years in the game.
Yeah.
You just learned about that person.
Right.
But they've been doing what they've been doing.
Right.
for years. It's just now that they're coming to the forefront.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Found that one break.
Exactly.
Yeah, to find that break.
You know, and they're waiting for that opportunity. But they seasoned. They done done that.
Right.
Everybody see the glory, but don't.
Nobody won't put in no work. Just like the song by my favorite blues singer, Albert King. Say, everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's the same concept, you know. Or it's like we like to say in New Orleans, it's like putting a cart in front of the horse.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna never go nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
You gonna never go nowhere. You know, you got Rubenstein taste and you got Roman candy money. The two ain't gonna you ain't gonna go nowhere.
That boy said Roman candy.
Yeah, you got Roman candy money. You know, come on, man.
10 cents in the city pump.
Yeah, they're $1 now.
Yeah, right.
You know, they used to be 10. They were 10 cents a quarter when I think the most I remember a quarter when I was coming up. They're $1 now for one stick, $1.
One stick.
Yeah, raw materials ain't going up, brother.
Well, look, I think that's for extra hay for the new horse. I think they got a new mule. The old mule died. The old mule died.
In this last segment, and I think I'm gonna make this a regular segment. You know, now that we're like somewhat either in the peak or the downturn of this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, where we're kind of debating on the variants and all that type of thing, and I'm just doing this thing because it's kind of like we are now dealing with the decision to vax or not to vax. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so with each guest that I'm gonna have on this podcast, we're gonna share these stories, and we're gonna and I'm still leaving it up open debate. But as if y'all checked out the last episode, I got vaxxed because, I did enough reading to understand, what it is. And through that reading, actually, I literally got to understand what a vaccine actually is.
Right.
Because when cats talk about immunization, it's just like, you just thinking they're just putting a cure in your body. Like, I think that's the normal, interpretation or the definition of what a vaccine is or immunization. And, they just think that you're just putting the cure in, and so you can't get it, And so once I did my research, right, I hate to say I did my research because all I really did was reading, and I just did enough reading to make me confident enough to know that there were certain things that needed to happen in order for me to go get this shot. Mm-hmm. So, without further ado, with our guest, Brother Gerald, I usually have 3 categories. Vaccinated, there's us as vaccinated, there's anti-vaxxers, and then there's vax hesitant. So tell me how did in your journey, did you come to where you are?
I was
like
anti-vax at first because normally it takes a vaccine a minimum of 10 years for them to come up with a vaccine. So I'm like, okay, we got this pandemic happening, all this stuff going on. And all of a sudden now, out of the blue, y'all got this vaccine. I'm like, wait a minute. That made my spider senses tingle. I'm like, wait a minute. So that let me know. I'm saying to myself, I'm like, did y'all plan this? Y'all had this already on the shelf? What's really going on?
To be honest with you, my theory is it was a happenstance and they just took advantage of it. Case in point, we had the lab, we funded the lab in Wuhan, built it, funded, the American government, U.S. government, built and, set up the Wuhan lab where the breakout happened. And now it's been confirmed that the breakout started in the Wuhan lab. And I think with Trump cutting the funding for it, period. He just cut it all the way out because they were funneling it through the pandemic office. And so with him just cutting the funding all the way out, as with any organization or any type of entity, the people who are the most knowledgeable about what this thing is, the people who have the most expertise in what this is, especially when it comes to disease control or virus control or, that type of thing, they're going to, like the lab is there to mix all of these things up to see how you're going to fight it. Because it's like, you can kind of foresee that there is going to be a virus that's going to mutate into something worse than what it already is. And one thing that we know about the coronavirus, the COVID-19, is that it has the SARS, the MERS, and one more. I think it wasn't Zika, but it was all these viruses in one. It's all these viruses in one. That's why it's so powerful, and that's why they were so scared of it.
Super virus.
Yeah, super virus. So because you have the super virus, but they kept it in the lab because they were trying to figure out if this was actually and if this could actually be something that could actually happen. And so with the funding being cut, you got the more seasoned people, the more experienced people either getting better gigs or just being like, man, whatever. They don't leave. The seasoned people, the people who
Trump fired them damn people.
Yeah, Trump fired them.
And somebody let the better. Period.
And like I said, I don't think somebody let the bad.
Somebody pissed off because they lost their job.
And say go on and
see when you mess with the church's money.
Exactly.
That's all you did.
This is what happened.
Like I said, and it probably wasn't one of us. It probably somebody with nigga tendencies. You know what I'm saying? Nigga tendencies. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't mess. You done cut. You done cut that 6-7 figure job. Boy, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. I'm gonna show you.
I don't deny that. I think they just like they wind up trying to replace them with less qualified people.
Well, true.
It's like
but you also
putting the people for scabs.
But you also got to look at it too with that whole administration. When they saw how things was going, people wanted to distance themselves from that because they saw the crumble. They saw the destabilization from the inside.
Right.
And they like, you know
writing
what?
on the wall.
Yeah, it's like, look, now I don't really want to be associated with this because if this shit hit the fan, I'm going down too.
Right.
So guess what? I'm going to jump shit now.
Right.
While I see what's happening and
Right.
that's on y'all.
Yeah.
When the fallout come, you deal with that.
Right. So I didn't want to jump into what you were doing, but just go ahead. Yeah, keep with your story.
So then I moved to vax hesitant, and the reason I was vax hesitant was because so many people in our music community and just people that I knew in general were dying from this shit. It was literally like really killing people.
Right.
And then, like I said, people that I know that had other pre-existing health conditions, they were the ones that were suffering the most.
Yeah.
And it was taking people out. Then I got sick.
Yeah.
And I got it from one of our band members. I got it from
Oh, wow.
you know what I'm saying? And all of us worked together. So I got it from the cash at the gig. I was in the hospital 8 days. And, I'm a person, and you've been around, I hardly ever get sick. And when I do, I have issues with my throat and stuff because I got, hay fever, I got sinus or whatever. But, normally I go to
the normal stuff.
you go to the doctor, you get a steroid shot, you take your little medicine and let's get this money.
Right.
It's time for the collection. You know how we do.
Of course.
So after I got sick, got out the hospital, I spent 8 days in the hospital. I said, well, I don't need to get sick like this no more. I said, this shit scared me.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm going to just go ahead and knuckle up. I'm going to take it. So I took the vaccine.
Yeah.
I ain't magnetic. I didn't grow no appendages. You know, I ain't glowing in the dark or none of that. You know, but the other thing that I want to say about being sick was this Delta variant. It didn't just affect my lungs. It went after my kidneys. I'm not diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic. I got high blood pressure because I like to eat, and I'm from New Orleans.
Yeah.
I like hot sauces.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
With the pineapple.
Yeah, with a pineapple, you know, big shot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? With a bag of Lay's potato chips. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? Hot sauce kill cancer, I'm telling you. Anyway, along with egg drop soup from the Vietnamese Chinese flavor. Anyway, but you know, so when I was sick, the thing that kept me in, like, as soon as I got in, I started getting the medicine. My lungs started to rebound. So I was on oxygen, but I ain't have to be intubated and all of that. Right. I just had the little thing in my nose. I'm straight. I'm good. But because I had been fighting the fever for so long, and I was sick for like maybe 3 weeks before I even went to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
So I'm taking Advils, I'm taking Tylenol, and the Advils was affecting my kidneys because I'm trying to keep the fever off me because when I had the fever, I was weak.
Right, yeah.
I couldn't even play, you know? So I got damaged from that. And then also, once I got in, and they said, you know, hey, you got the COVID. And they said, yeah, well, you know, you already done compromised your kidneys because of the ibuprofen.
Wow.
And then now the COVID is going after your kidneys. So my kidney function was real low. So that's what kept me in the hospital for the 8 days. It was more my kidneys than my lungs. But that's what I'm saying. That's what they're not telling people on the news. If you got something else wrong with you and you catch this shit, you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, right.
You're in a world of trouble. Because whatever it is that you already got, it's going after that first.
Right.
Before it even go after your lungs.
Right.
Now, I know people right now, like my sister, and them got it. They getting over it now. She didn't have the chest congestion. She had the head congestion. You know? But, and like another person I know.
As Dr. Sebi taught us.
Exactly.
You know, the
mucus. It's the mucus. You know? Leave, you know, some things you got to leave alone. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, but I took the vaccine. Like I said, I ain't glowing in the dark. I'm not magnetic. I ain't got none of that. All the stuff I was hearing, you know, and you know, and then now, you know, being a musician is crazy. Like I played at Tipitina's last night. Yeah. Even as a musician. Let me see that card.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I played at the House of Blues with
I'm performing.
Yeah.
That don't matter. Let me see that card.
Yeah. I played at House of Blues with Better Than Ezra Friday night. And they wasn't even worried about the card. They had the test right at the door.
Yeah.
Take it. Take one, bro.
Or swab it.
We don't even care. We don't care if you got the vaccine. We gonna swab it. And so, you know, the new ones, you know, that you could buy over the counter now from Walgreens and everything.
Instant.
But yeah, you know, it took about 10 minutes, but like, you know, for the result to come back, the result of the post. But like, you know, they ain't playing around, man. I don't blame them.
No.
And I don't blame them because, you know,
it's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. And now you're playing into money. You know, playing into the church's money.
Right. Now you're talking about because like I told my daddy, you know, he was like, man, it's crazy. I'm like, nah, it ain't crazy. I said, bro, people not shutting down their businesses again. Right. That's not gonna happen. No.
Find a way.
Now either you gonna conform or you're gonna get the fuck up out of here.
Right.
You got the rule.
Right.
Because you stopping what I got going on.
Right.
Look how many nurses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you gonna administer something and you're not?
Right.
Hey.
That's
hey. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And like I say, and I'm not against anybody who chooses not to. That's your temple. That's your personal thing. But for me, I got sick. It scared the hell out of me. So guess what? I got it. Right. It is what it is.
This is my issue, though. How you, for all the people who's not, I got friends who say they're not taking the vaccine. I said, that's cool, but I said, what are you doing to make sure you don't get sick?
Right.
And they don't have an answer for it.
No.
And a friend of mine was like, well, I'm just eating better. I'm just doing it. I'm like, that's cool, but like, are you like taking vitamins or anything else? He's like, no.
No.
And I said, do you know about your I said, do you go to the doctor, your monthly, yearly checkup?
No.
I'm like, so it's like, I saw this video of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, like I said, everybody I know who's not vaccinated, cool. But if you get sick, don't go to the hospital.
But what I'm saying
Not
is,
saying don't go. I'm just saying the fact that don't sit up there and say, I don't want to take the vaccine, but I'm anti this, anti that. But then when you get sick, you go into the hospital. Then you got other people who got stuff that's not COVID, but real serious issues, need to be in the hospital bed.
Well, I mean, and like I said, and I was on that bandwagon, because I was like, this just a little bit too soon for them to be coming up with this. And it's like, wait a minute, something about this just don't feel right. And then, like I said, when I got sick and I really saw what it did to me and what it did to my body and how it took me down, I mean, I fought, but at the same time, I've always taken herbs. And taking vitamins. That's a part of my daily ritual. And that's the only reason it took so long for it to wear me down and get bad was because of me taking vitamin C, taking zinc, taking vitamin A, B complex. I take garlic. I take cayenne pepper. I take these things on a daily basis, plus my medication for high blood pressure. These are things that I take on a daily basis. So I had a fighting chance against it because I was taking stuff to kind of counteract it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for somebody who don't do none of that.
Right. And you don't want to take the vaccine, but then
you
you
in
get
trouble.
sick, or I go to the hospital. I'm like, but no, look, keep that same energy when you didn't want to take the vaccine.
Well, my thing is that because I had a classmate, she was on Facebook and she was like, I have to take the vaccine because I don't want to deal with she had just bought a new house and she had just closed on a new house and she had to she gotta still work.
Right.
And so she was like, I'm getting it because I gotta go to work. And so, and so she was just like, I just need to know which one should I take and like what's the results and what have been the reviews on each one of them. And I kind of broke it down for which I do with anybody who I have this conversation with. It's like think of it as cancer treatment. Some cancer patients get radiation and some get chemo. Right. But like think of the Pfizer or as, the chemo. Think of the Pfizer, the chemo, because, the Pfizer vaccine has the virus in it. And it's just enveloped with the antibodies and the necessary things. But it's literally there to help the rest of the body recognize that that's the bad guy. And so, so when the bad guy shows up, so to speak, they know who to fight, who the enemy is. It's like a quarterback looking at, that's the linebacker right there. That's like him.
Right.
I say, so just like chemo, that's what chemo does. Chemo is like they try to find the bad cells to get rid of the cancer cells, as opposed to radiation. Radiation just washes everything out and in hopes that good cells come through. I said, that's the Moderna. The Moderna is like, nah, anything that don't look like us, we fight. So your immune system is like, who is you? Because
I don't care if you got the same uniform on.
Right, okay. Who is you? I said, so both of them just kind of like work in their own ways. And so both of them are still good. The main thing is build your immune system up before you take the shot.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And that's the thing that you do, and make sure you get that sunlight.
Oh, yes, vitamin D.
Right. And like I said,
you can take them steam baths.
Right. Steam baths
Take
help.
them steam baths, so there won't be any mucus buildup because the main thing about it is that the virus sits up in the cavity and it clings to the mucus.
And
that's
also,
what keeps it alive.
Like I said, we clowning earlier about that cheese, but you got to eliminate that whole milk, that dairy. The cheese, you got to get that out your system, you know. And like I said, if you putting that in your system, you're gonna that's a no.
Yeah,
especially for this, because like I said, most people you know, it start off as a cold, but then it turn into pneumonia.
Yeah.
And once you got that cold and that mucus in your lungs,
That's it.
Right.
Heart attack.
that's a wrap. That's
Yeah.
a wrap.
Exactly.
You know.
So with that, you know, I like to thank Gerald for coming and gracing us with his presence.
I'll be back.
It's been a long, this is a long wait.
I'll be back.
Maybe I'm gonna get you and Jerry to come in and we're gonna do one of the powwows.
I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm coming back.
Yeah,
you're gonna be here. You're gonna be
It's,
there.
it's definitely gonna be. It's definitely gonna be a fun one. I'll tell you that much. It's
Yeah,
gonna.
you got to invite my brother Lewis.
Yeah.
Get brother Lewis in here.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
get him
right.
in here. Yeah, so we can have some real conversation. I done told you.
Yeah, that's
Then do what I tell you to do. Yeah.
you know. So one more time, give it up for my Sharia Moore, my two-way bell, thorn on my side, Maya, whose birthday is coming up. Yes,
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Next month?
No,
That's why. Yeah,
in about a week.
week.
And a half.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
You Leo?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Virgo season.
Virgo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Virgo.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I've been starting to thorn in his
Thorn on my
side.
side, you know.
Nah, that's
I'm a Cancer, the Moonchild Crabby, so you know, just
See, look.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Moonchild.
But like I said, I'm Taurus the bull. I just try to keep the bull in the barn where he belong. Keep him in the air condition where they got some head. Leave him there. And most people that know me are like, you don't act like a Taurus. It make me mad.
right.
yeah.
That's a
The bull
yes,
come
sir.
out.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
then the bull
Bull
come
come
out. Then you get the horns. Then you get the horns.
And last but not least, you know, the Al Hammond the podcast.
Yo.
Yes, indeed. So, you know,
Malik Shabazz.
yes, sir.
Mustafa. Roast beef Mustafa.
Yes, you know, yeah, brother.
That's the
Brother
new
Rosemary
sandwich.
Jenkins.
Yeah, the new sandwich. Give me a roast beef Mustafa.
I'm looking like a Indian Aki.
There you go. There you go.
Never.
There you go. Fill her up on pump 6. Fill her from the pump 6. That's a damn shame.
My country in Indian.
Man, you know you don't look. You look like them people, but you from here. You ain't one of those people. Y'all don't get it twisted. Don't let it fool you.
Ain't nothing but indigenous.
Yeah, we come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Just look at the nose.
That dude said,
We all right.
he said if you was from your family's from Saudi, if you get married out there, they give the people who get married $25,000. He said, "How can I get this money?" He said, "I go out there." I said, "Can I come back?" He said, "I doubt it."
Nope.
I said, "I'm gonna stay my stupid ass in the States. I'm gonna take my chances living in the East."
Them people want to see how you gonna spend the investment.
Yes,
That's why
sir.
you got to
I'm
steer
gonna
it.
tell you how petty I am. I'm the type of person that bring a doctor's note to a suicide mission.
Boy, it's no time go to a suicide mission.
Like, look,
Are you crazy?
What you
My
mean,
doctor
son?
said,
My
I can't
doctor
really do
said,
it.
I can't do it.
I can't do it today, dog.
I can't do it
My doctor
today.
said, look,
I'm infected.
I'm infected.
What's you infected with? I'm a coward. I can't do it. I just can't do it today. I'm scared to death.
Man, I'm not doing that
Oh
shit.
man, I can't do it. I can't do it today.
Oh man, I
Man,
enjoyed
but
this shit.
I enjoyed y'all.
Yeah.
And anytime you want me back, I'll be here.
Oh, trust me, I'm gonna get you back. We gonna
Since I'm
we gonna have
negative,
this.
I'll be here.
Huh?
Since I'm negative, I'll
Yeah,
be
right.
here. Yeah, that was
Yes, sir.
that's the first comment I got this morning on a Sunday morning. You're
Oh yeah.
negative. Anyway,
Yes, I bring in the negative.
that's
Yes.
right.
But I'm usually the negative person.
No,
so-
that's the agitator. You're not negative.
He
You
the
just
agitator,
you're
yeah.
not
He
negative.
go,
You just make people like my brother Dan Calloway said. I'm just here to make you think.
right.
That's you. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the other side of it that you ain't thinking about.
Giving them words, they gotta go look.
Yeah,
Well,
that-
like a
well, that's
certain
something else.
like a certain saxophone player says, "I'm not lying. I'm entertaining."
No, the other saxophone player said, "There you go, making sense again." You're trying
That's
to
your
make
problem now.
that's your problem now. You're trying to make
Trying to make
sense.
sense.
You're trying to make sense. The people don't want to hear that. You're trying to make sense.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
So until next time, it's Professor Drew Bayham. Peace.
Peace.